What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Everyday Witness. As you can tell, I'm in the same clothes still, so you're probably wondering, man, is he doing it again? The answer is yes, I am. And it's kind of funny because this was like spur of the moment. I asked Trey literally earlier today when we were in Tiger Camp training for freshman orientation. I was like, man, we got going on tonight. He was like, nothing. I was like, dude, you should come on the podcast tonight.
100%.
And yeah, now we're here. So, anyways, I probably already said it, but this is one of my really good friends who I actually met last year. And you're straight freshman? Where were you?
Straight freshman, yes.
Straight freshman, just like the majority of us. But Trey and I met last year during Tiger Camp, but then grew real close because our friend groups kind of mingled a lot. But me and Trey have been real close since then, and it's been really cool to see God working through him. But that's all I'm going to say about him. But Trey, why don't you first off, thank you for coming on the podcast.
My pleasure, man. It's
pleasure. But why don't you go ahead and give a little overview as to who you are, where you're from, and all that. So.
Alrighty. Well, as he said, my name is Trey. I'm Tre Turner. I'm born and raised here in Marshall, Texas. All 19 and a half years of my life. I'm in my second year at UTB. I'm a psychology major, and I have a calling to be out here and help people, talk to them. I'm a big listener, and that's a great thing for a psychologist or therapist to have. I love talking to people. I love people in general. I love this guy coming up. Who doesn't love this guy coming up? But yeah, I'm a huge people person, and stuff like this is what I like this kind of stuff right here.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome here. Well, so you grew up in Marshall. Did you go to Marshall High School?
Yes, I went to Robert E. Lee. Then I went to Travis Elementary. Then I went to Sam Houston. Then junior high, and then high school. So yes, every year I have been to a Marshall school.
So you're a big time Marshall Maverick.
I'm a Marshall Maverick, but I'm not a Maverick fanatic.
Not a Maverick fanatic. Yeah, I got you. I understand. For those y'all who don't know, where I'm at in ETBU is it located in Marshall, Texas, in East Texas, and Marshall Mavericks are the mascot for the local high school. Yes. We won't talk much about them anymore. But anyways, it's a really cool place. But either way, obviously, we know about your background, but we kind of want to hear a little more in depth of that. Can you kind of tell us a little bit as to the background of your faith, kind of when you started learning about faith and when you accepted and got baptized, if you haven't already. But either way.
And to start off, I have always been in the church family. So I was born up. My mom and dad at the time were going to church. And my grandma was a huge part of that. Shout out to my grandma. I love you. She was a huge part of that. And from a child, I was always going to church with my grandma every single week. And currently, I go to Eastern Hills Church of Christ here. I've been going there for 14, almost 15 years. So yeah, I love Jesus. Always has, always will. And I got baptized. Actually, this is part of my testimony. I can share that.
Absolutely. Okay, come
on. I was always a believer. Always, never failed. But of course, growing up, you have your questions, your doubts, your thoughts about stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Every human has that. Everybody does. When you're picking a religion, something that you base your life off of, that's a very important choice.
Absolutely.
And I had a troubled childhood growing up. This might sound a little strange. I'm so glad God put me through what I went through so young. Mm-hmm. Because for two reasons. First reason is because as I got older and it continued to happen, I was able to handle it more.
Yeah.
I wasn't depressed, so I wasn't thinking about hurting myself and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. God gave me the mental fortitude for that. And then second of all, it goes in with what I want to do when I get out of college, being a therapist. And
yeah, absolutely.
Since I've been through stuff like that, I can connect on a deep level with those people who've also been through that kind of stuff. So my hard past, my hard childhood allows me to help the other people who has been through similar things, and that to me is God working.
No, absolutely. Relatability is huge for anything. Working summer camps, or even just having simple conversations with new freshmen coming into a campus, like we are with Tiger Camp. you get all these ideas of being able to be relatable with people. The second you find something you have in common, there's your relatability right there, and it's simple conversation. Anyways, continue. Sorry about that.
Exactly. No, you're perfect. Yeah, and that right after that was like, look at God working. He works in very strange ways, but he has his plan, and his plan is absolute, and his plan is coming to fruition.
Absolutely.
I love the position he has me in. I love that he has me here at ETBU because, like I said, it was like I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have had this opportunity. Like I wouldn't have met Clay Darby, who is my mentor. I love that guy, and he helped me be able to help other people too because he helped put my heart and my mind in the right position to be able to help those other people too. Yeah, and going back to my testimony, sorry I got it for a little bit, but it was hard for me. I was a bad child. I struggled with my language, and I still struggle to this day. And it's a very hard thing to get over, especially growing up in it so much.
No,
it's
absolutely.
very hard to get out of something like that. I have tried so hard. I literally told my friends, if you hear me, try to stop. Like I literally told them, like
I have heard,
like physically
preaching to the choir. I have heard that
Yes.
many times,
Yes,
many
dude.
times.
physically hit me if you need to, so I can stop, so I can have.
So would you consider that a spanking, or would you consider that a
slap?
slap? Would you consider that a spanking or a slap?
I mean, I didn't tell him to spank my behind. You know, so that's what I classify.
I was just making sure to clarify. That's all I was doing. Clarify.
No,
absolutely.
I clarify that as a slap, not a spanking. Let's get that out there. Yeah, but struggling with my profanity and the music I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
2023, January 2024, the weekend before my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
My church always goes to something called Winterfest. It used to be in Arlington. Now it's over in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
Long story. That year, like I was already thinking about getting baptized, and like my parents were always like, "I want you to get older. I want you to experience things spiritually. I want you to actually like be like set, because like being baptized is the most important thing you can do in your life at all. That is the most important thing, and I understand why my parents are like, hey, you need to grow up, experience more, go through more stuff, and actually know why this is happening. And I completely understand it. And during that trip, I remember this song. It's as the deer thirsts for the water, Lord, so my soul longs after you. And then the chorus is, so I pour out my soul deep within me. I pour out my soul. Draw me deeper, Lord, in you. And that song, that was the first time I've ever cried singing a song. The first time I ever cried, and I'm 17 at this point.
Yeah,
that is the first time I've ever cried singing a song, and to God to top that off. And in that moment, I was with my pastor, and my brother was right next to me. I burst out in tears. I hugged my brother. I hugged my pastor. I hugged my youth minister. I was like, I think I'm ready. And after that trip, 21st, getting back home, I turned my Spotify playlist on at that time, and then like I listened to rap and stuff back then. Like my rap stuff came on, and I was like, it doesn't feel the same anymore. You know, like coming from where I was and crying for the first time, listening to a song that's giving my all to God, and listening to rap and stuff like that, it didn't feel the same. And I was like, I can't have this in my life anymore.
Absolutely.
So like you can go, I have like 200 songs at the time. I can tell like over half is rap. You can look at my playlist and find not even 5. It's in, you look at my first 15, 20 songs, it's all worship songs. And then I have worship all throughout my playlist. And I never thought that I would listen to worship on a regular basis every single day. But, and then coming to ETBU and then getting a new type of music, because I'm a Church of Christ. I was raised up Church of Christ, and then coming into a Baptist University, listen to this song, it brings a lot more. It's not just sitting down for a right here, just like you're getting into the music.
No,
absolutely. And that for me is more personal. And You catch me in the sour shaking. See, I mean, you catch me at Tiger Cups. I know you heard me at Tiger Cups singing. Just singing,
I sing with you.
just exactly,
Trust me, I know.
exactly, and just singing for no
That's why my
reason.
voice is gone.
Same here, and like it's just like I never thought that God would be so present in my life, and that He would like make it so clear that He has been in my life this entire time. Like I lost my dad, I lost my younger brother, I lost two uncles and three aunts in the span of 4 years. And I was 14, 15, 16, 17. Mm-hmm. And then when I tell you that's hard. That is hard. Losing my own dad. And then losing my younger brother. Yeah. Like that come on now. Like that's hard. Yeah. That's very hard to go through. Like I was already going through so much death when I was younger that it put that thought in my head, it's gonna happen. And you have to be okay with it. And that's honestly like my fear to that I'm terrified of dying. But in my mind I'm like, oh, why does it even matter? Because I'm going home to Jesus anyway, so why does it matter? I shouldn't be scared of dying because there's gonna be heaven. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be paradise with God and all those loved ones I've lost. No, absolutely. If they've lived their life according to the Bible and looking at God right. I shouldn't be scared of that. I shouldn't. And then going toward the ending of my testimony, after that trip, the next year we went to Soul Quest. That was in Nebraska. We went to York College in Nebraska, and I had a class, and it was a class, and it laid out every stage of Jesus' life, and they had a prop for every stage of his life. And there was a guy teaching his class, and then that one stage that got me the most was the stage with the robe and the crown of thorns. And when he was telling the story about how they beat him, they spat on him, they stuck spears in his side, they put nails in his hand, all over. He's bleeding, he's coughing up water and blood and all that stuff. And like watching the Passion of Christ killed me. Oh yeah, like no. All the things that Jesus did for us, and look at what we're doing for Jesus. What are we doing for Jesus? Singing isn't enough. Going to church isn't enough. That man literally gave his life. He got tortured for us, and we're broken. We don't deserve any of that. No, absolutely. And the fact that he did all that willingly, knowing he didn't want to do it, but knowing he also had to do it, and he did it for us. That's the best dad I could ever ask for. Best dad, best brother I could ever ask for. And that the class, and that was also my first time crying in a class. Like the class went and did their own thing. I sat down there on my knees, also a first, on my knees, praying and crying to Jesus, holding that crown. Well, not the crown, but holding that thorn, the crown of thorns. I highly recommend church camps. I highly recommend church camps because you go through and experience so many things that you never thought you would ever experience. And that stuff completely changed my life. See, like my testimony is over a span of years. But it's just crazy seeing the way God works. It's crazy. And he's always present, no matter if you don't you can feel it and then but not feel it, but just know that man is always present 100% of the time. Guaranteed.
No, absolutely. It's cool to see because for me, I was a church camp kid. I grew up in a church as well. And in the same way, I actually accepted Christ at a Disciple Now weekend that now I get to actually serve at. But even when I accepted Christ then, I didn't understand it. And it wasn't until I literally heard my dad speak. But basically, for me, I heard my dad speak at camp. And he talked about his friend passed away. For those of you who don't know, Wade Morris was one of my dad's best friends. And sadly, Wade passed away in the summer. It's 4 years ago, so that'd be the summer of 2021. And It was real hard for my dad. But, and I won't go too much into that. That's not my story to tell. But basically, he died of COVID pneumonia, and it was really hard on his family, who my family still is really close with to this day, and we love all three of them, Eden, Deb, and Trinity to death. They are the most amazing people in the world. But basically, what happened was he died. And that sounds a weird way to put it. But he died, and my dad uses it as a part of his story when he preaches some sermons. But going into my senior year, I went to our Wow Week, which actually, from those y'all who remember Noah's story, was actually at Carolina Creek and there. But he was preaching at Carolina Creek, and that was where we went to camp my senior year. But he was speaking, and he talked about Wade. And one thing that Wade always said, and I remember this quote to this day because it stuck with me as something I was like, I want to make sure people understand the importance of it. If not now, when? Now, that statement seems a lot weird, and I'm sorry I'm preaching, but if not now, when? He's saying like this. For those of us who are athletes, most of us heard a saying like, if you're not early, you're late. Or if you're not early, you're on time. If you're early, you're on time. But if you're on time, you're late. In the same way, when we go through our lives, we go through a lot of certain challenges and things that the Lord puts us through to test our faith, but to understand also that we truly do need Him. And in the same way, we need to understand the importance of how crucial it is to understand that we need a personal relationship with God. And I don't know the specifics of how Wade did it because I never truly got the chance to ask. But he said, if not now, when? And I've written that in my phone, typed out since I heard it. And it's been something that stuck with me because, like, and I talked with Noah about this when we had our podcast episode not too long ago. We are not promised another day. Like, by the grace of God, we get to witness every new day because He loves us and He died for our sins and rose again on the third day. Exactly. Praise the Lord. Amen for that. But like, that voice crack. But even then, like, the importance of that statement, like, if we're not going to do it now, there's not even a possible shot of us doing it in the future. We have such an important calling in our lives to understand the true beauty of what the gospel truly is. And with that, we also get to see, like, through our leaders, through those around us, and everybody. Sorry, there's people in the room watching this, so that's why I'm looking around. It helps me. But we get to see all these people around us and, like, see how the gospel truly develops in them, whether it's when we start believing or whether it's when we believe and we grow through that. And for those to just walk around and not see the gospel, for me, it's disappointing. Because, like, I live in a life where I've grown up in the church, and obviously it's different for everybody because not everybody's grown up that way. But we see so much of this of like, oh, it's carefree, free will. Who cares? I'll go have sex all the time. Or I'll do this. Or I'll do that. Did that just cut off? That is so... No, it's a little powdery. But anyways, sorry. But basically, we get all these opportunities, and it's like, oh, I'll do this. I'll go have sex. It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, I'll go do this. I'll go do drugs. It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, I'll go do this. I'll go commit murder. That's a little harsh. But the idea is, like, we do all these things of free will, but, like, there is still a God above. And He sees everything, and He knows what's going to happen. But even then, and I preach this thing every time I'm on this podcast because I think it's beneficial for us to understand God uses everyday people to be witnesses in our lives. And I know it sounds stupid every time I say it, but like, every one of us has had that one person in our life that's been the go-to person, whether it's a classmate, a roommate, or even a parent or a friend that they've just grown up with. And that person has been the seed planter for us, whether it was the first time we heard the gospel or a different way we heard the gospel, or if it was the gospel all together. And through that, like, we get to see, like, once they plant that seed, God is going to do everything He can to water it, nourish it, and for it to grow until we understand finally that we truly need Him and we accept Christ. And as you said, we are baptized, which is the outward expression of our faith. And it allows people to know this is what I believe, whether you think you should or not. I really did preach there. But, anyways, about the stories. So, obviously, y'all all love this part. It's my favorite part of every podcast. The idea of the everyday witness is that everybody has a story, and whether that has to do with their testimony, it is their testimony, or it's just a way they've seen God move so evidently, maybe at a camp, church, D-Now, or something they did over the summer or throughout their entire life. Everybody's got one part of their life where they've just seen God in a way that was either just so evident or just in a way they never expected. So, Trey, my question to you is this. What story do you have for us today?
Well, actually, this is a very recent story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was during the summertime.
Okay, I'm excited to hear it.
This is the summertime. I do have my issues. I did struggle with anger. Um, it wasn't as severe as it used to be, of course not. But I was struggling. I was having a hard time. I lash out sometimes, not on people. I never lash out on people. It's always objects, which is a great thing. I probably should.
I mean, they got rage. They got rage rooms for that. Yeah, that makes sense, man. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I wasn't having the best night, and I might have slung my PlayStation controller at my TV. And my TV.
Did you break the TV?
Yes, my TV broke. My TV broke, and
okay.
And also, my PlayStation controller broke in the process of me doing that.
That's a double whammy.
Yeah, so that's a PlayStation and the TV that's in the same day, which is kind of crazy. So that happens, and then a few days before that, my laptop I use for school just completely shut off, stopped working.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there was something I lost my Roku remote to the TV I had before.
That's not good.
Yeah, and then I didn't have my remote to work my TV, but the TV was broke, so what's the point of my remote anymore?
Yeah.
But I lost that, and then I was struggling with money. I didn't have money to replace anything. I didn't have food at the time because I didn't have the money to even get myself food. And you know who Lawrence is, right? You know Lawrence?
Yes, I do.
My
really well.
Friend, I call
the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Exactly. I call that young man my angel on earth. Because when I'm down, I didn't even have to ask that guy. He bought me a whole new TV. Another friend of mine who isn't here, he moved to Dallas. He gave me 2 PlayStation controllers, not even knowing I didn't have any more. Just there. And then Lawrence again helped me get a job. I got money to pay for my laptop and then help my parents pay my tuition. And all that stuff, all the bad things happened in a span of 1 week. And then give or take a week and a half or 2, after that was done, in 3 days, I got everything back. My TV Lawrence got me a TV. He got my PlayStation controller. He got me my job, so I was able to get food. He also fed me for a week straight. Bro did not have to do that.
You're gonna make me cry with that.
Bro did not have to do that.
Wow.
I call that man my angel on earth for a reason. God sent that man for me, and it's crazy. I used to be a bully. Sad to say, he was one of the ones I bullied, and it's crazy that his bully is the one that turned around and is now asking him for help, on my knees asking him for help. And the fact he's not the type of guy to be like, no, you did all this in the hospital, so why should I have to help you? He didn't care. The kind heart that he has, the love that he has for me, insane. And that personally, God has always moved in my life, but that personally was the first time it was a slap in my face. Like, it's crazy that I lose $500 worth of stuff in 1 week and gain it all back in 2 weeks. That's ridiculous. What can I say? That's all I got.
I mean, that right there is evidence of one thing: the grace of God.
Exactly.
And I mean, you said it earlier. I mean, the Lord is really weird in how he comes about with everything.
Very
But
strange.
I think in a way, like, that's even the best part about it.
Exactly. Because you're not
Because
expecting something so
no,
weird
absolutely.
to work out so good.
No, absolutely. Like, you get to all these points and you see just like, and it could be little things or it could be big things like that. Like, you never know who the Lord is going to put you in your life that is going to be the biggest influence. And I'm not going to preach the same thing again, but like, there are everyday people that you might be best friends with, or you might not have even met yet, that are going to be huge influences in your life. And the only time you're ever going to know is when you need it the most. Those are when you find out who your true friends were. I know I have my true friends. Most of them are sitting in this room right now. And I know that because I know that no matter what happens, if I need something and I desperately need it and I'm in desperate need of it, I know that Noah Brown, Landon Williams, Tre Turner, and a bunch of other guys that aren't even here right now will always have my back.
100%.
I didn't have that for a while, but I came here and I do now. And it's really cool to see how God has also put me in that position, taking me away from basketball and allowing myself to focus on the relationships and friendships that I have here and being involved in such an amazing Christian community. So, obviously, everybody has a favorite Bible story. And whether that is David and Goliath, Daniel Lion's Den, Jonah and the Big Fish, Sermon on the Mount, whatever it may be, everybody's got a certain part of the Bible that you just feel like, man, it's just been there my whole life. And even when, either if it's been recent or has been there their entire recent or in their entire life, it's just stuck with them a lot. And I'm curious, what is that Bible story for you? Clear throat a little bit. Prepare yourself.
I know, right? You prepare y'all. The Bible. Ooh, what's back there?
No, I saw it in the camera. I was like, ah. Anyways,
the Bible story for me is actually the story of Abraham and Sarah, about how she was like, "Girl, I'm old. Ain't gonna have no child this old, blah blah." And the reasoning being for that is because throughout all of that, God told Abraham and Sarah so far back, "You're gonna have a child. Just trust. I got it. You're gonna have a child, regardless of your age." And the moral of that story for me, and what it does for me, it allows me to like see that every promise God makes, He keeps, no matter what. God is a true and honest God, and everything He says, every covenant we have for each other, He's going to keep it. And the fact that He kept that between Abraham and Sarah over decades, I believe it is, over so many years,
a long time,
and the fact that like Sarah actually laughed at the fact that God said that, and then she's in her 70s, 80s at that point. And hey, you're interrupting her.
Noah's still here, by the way. He's over here to my left.
Bless you.
He sneezed a little bit.
But it's just the fact that through all that, through old age, nowadays we can say, oh no, that's not humanly possible. It's God we're talking about. Through God, all things are possible. And it was a song that we mentioned. It was like, nothing is impossible with God. All things are possible. And that song reminds me of this right here. Everything is possible through God, regardless of anything. And that story shows me to have faith regardless of what I'm going through, regardless of the situation. Because you ain't ever heard about no 100-year-old man or no 90-year-old woman having babies. It ain't normal.
Never.
But with God, everything is possible. Anything keep it normal with God. And that story allows me to have faith. And it allows my faith to go stronger, because I see that in strange situations, God still comes through. regardless, no fail. And that story is, I hold that dear to my heart because that's a constant reminder every day through all the hard trials of my life that no matter what, God's got me. God stays on His promises, and He keeps His promises. And that's the
No,
story for me.
absolutely. That is an amazing story. I always like asking that question because you get to hear all these amazing stories, and most of the time, it's stories most people don't take advantage of and read deep enough into. It's just really cool to see how that's your story. I love that. Well, also, obviously, everybody has their life verse, and whether it's in Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Matthew, John, Second Peter, Second Timothy, wherever it's a verse that everybody, I want to say, I would like to say lives by, but I feel like a better word for that is like is shaped by, because I feel like a verse that you live by is a verse that will shape the way you act, whether that's in the fruits of the spirit or whether that's just in everyday life, and it helps shape us, whether it was growing up in your family or whether it's something that you've found recently. So I'm curious, what is your life verse?
This is a well-known verse, and it's a lot of people's life verse. It is the one and only Philippians 4:13. Is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens
Oh, we love that verse.
me. And that verse also goes on with the story a little bit too. It's like, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of anything that's going on, God is steadfast in everything He does. God is always there. He's at the front of everything, and through all things, playing a video game, playing sports, healing from an injury, growing your faith through all things through Christ. And He strengthens you, you're good. No matter what's it. And then also in the Bible, I don't remember the verse, but in the Bible, God says, I will not put you, this is paraphrase. He says, I will not put you in any situation that I know that you cannot handle. And that's also another verse I live by. And I tend to struggle with that just a wee bit, but over the past few weeks, since I've been going through my things and talking about how I lost my TV, my PlayStation remote, and all that stuff, it doesn't matter what I go through. I believe, I have faith. I pray. I go to God, and I know He's got me. In that verse, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It is also a daily reminder that God has me, regardless of what's going on with me or what I'm going through.
Well, that's awesome to hear. I'm gonna say this as a preface before I say what I'm about to say. As y'all know, we're here before school starts. You're probably wondering why the heck we're doing that. For those of y'all who don't know, me and Trey, and also Noah, and a bunch of other people you are going to meet pretty soon, are a part of what's called Tiger Camp. Shout out Tiger Camp and LC, amazing people out there. But in a certain way, it's kind of cool because we are also with that split into 5 teams. And right now, I'm staring into the eyes of the enemy. Both ways. We got Sarge over here with Noah Brown. We got Hilltop over here with Trey, and your favorite your friendly neighborhood me is on a team called Lamsato. So by the time some of y'all see this, we'll actually still be in training. So LC is going to kill me if y'all watch this during that. So please don't do that for those of us who are actually in it. But by the time y'all see a few more episodes later, I'll kind of dive into Tiger Camp because I think it's a cool thing, and you'll actually get to meet who runs Tiger Camp pretty soon, LC, which I think is going to be one of my favorite episodes of the entire channel, which I love because we love LC. But anyways, I don't really have much else to talk about because we actually have to go to bed because we're exhausted. We've been running around like crazy, getting everything set up for the new students, the freshmen to come into you. So I'm actually gonna have to cut it off. But Trey, I really do appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a pleasure to hear your story that I actually did not know. So for news to me, but thank you so much for sharing a testimony that truly is powerful to more people than you will ever know.
I appreciate you inviting me on this show. I love it, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Sorry for all the weird jump cuts. That's just me being a video guy. I just like to mess with y'all. Sorry about that. But anyways, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, night, or wherever you're at. and wherever the sun's up or down. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hope y'all have a great rest of your time and have a great day. Peace out.